everyone, I'm Arvindev and today I have brought a very special topic, and that is verb. So this topic you must have seen in various syllabus of the competition. For example, somewhere around in all the competition, everywhere you need to face this topic and you have to learn it. So today we are going to prepare in this video and we are going to talk about verb. So there might be several videos on verb. If you watch those videos, so of course you'll be perfect and you can do all the questions. So now let's start. First of all, you need to understand exactly what is a verb. So in simple words, we can say that verb is an action word, but you must have seen that is, am, are, was, were. That is also verb, but that's not action word. So it means that we need to go deep in this chapter, because it's not only a single topic, but it's a head of bunch of topics. It has lots of things. It has several branches. Even if you talk about comprehension, so that is covered in verb, because this topic is responsible to deliver the learner and teach the learners that how to take out meaning from any sentence. If you want to build any sentence, if you want to write any sentence, so that time also you need to learn this. Or there are many questions related to errors, improvements are there. So that is closely related to this chapter. So means if you prepare this chapter, so every time you will get 2 to 5 marks every time. So first of all, we need to understand exactly how many branches are there. So first two prime branches are there. One is finite and other is non-finite. So why these two categories have been made? First one is finite, another one is non-finite. What is finite? When there is a verb and that requires a kind of subject to prepare a sentence, and without subject it cannot be used. There are several verbs. For example, if I write anything like plays cricket, so this type of sentence is not possible at all in grammar unless you add a kind of subject. That can be he plays, that should be she plays, that can be Ram plays, Sita plays, boy plays. But if we only write this plays cricket, so this plays cricket, this sentence has no dignity in English grammar. So those types of verbs that surely require a kind of subject, so that is called finite verb. Next one is non-finite verb. What is non-finite verb? Non-finite verb means a kind of verb that can be used, that can be framed, that can be written, and it might be possible that those all sentences can be written without subject. For example, smoking is injurious to health. So here in this sentence, like I must write it, smoking is injurious to health. Now I've written this. So here smoking is a subject, but what kind of subject? This subject has been made using action word. Smoke is action word. Smoking is action word. Like he's smoking, they are smoking. So smoking is action word. But this action word here, this has been used as a subject. And smoking can be used as an action word directly. For example, he is smoking, they are smoking, right? So such types of formation that comes under non-finite verb. For example, walking is good. Walking is good for health. So that is also non-finite, walking. But walks is finite. Walks is good for health, we cannot use it because walks requires a kind of subject. So that is the difference between finite verb and non-finite verb. Finite verb has again several branches that has to be prepared for learning comprehension and writing skills. So now let's see exactly what are its branches and how we can prepare it. So now first of all, let's start with the finite one. So several. Now I must write it. First is helping verb. First is helping verb. We talk about helping verb. But in the first part, we learn 4 other things that I'll tell you later. Next is tense, then form, then voice, then narration, then there's a number, then person, and then mood. These many topics are covered into verb chapter. So first topic is helping verb. So what do we learn? Actually, this is the first topic of the verb. So that's why what do we prepare? We prepare 2 more things, and those 2 things are kind of just concept of the verb. First one is called transitive and other one is called intransitive. There are several learners and the teachers, they teach transitive and intransitive here as I have separated. But you know, the main branches are finite and non-finite, then several branches, then first branch you picked up, and then in that again 4 branches are there. First one is transitive. That is a kind of concept, a kind of verb which has an object, that is transitive in simple mean. But there are some verbs as well which has no object, but that would also be considered and taken as transitive verb. For example, he killed a snake. So this is transitive, but if I remove a snake, it doesn't mean that it would become intransitive. Many people misunderstand it, but kill is a kind of action word that it means that surely there must be an object. Suppose this object is not present, still that sentence would be considered a transitive. But if I say he is sleeping, he is laughing, so that is intransitive verb. Next one is auxiliaries. So there are 2. One is primary. In primary auxiliaries you learn is, am, are, was, were, will be, shall be, then has, have, had, will have, shall have, has to, have to, had to, will have to, is to, am to, are to, was to, were to, then need, dare, used to. These are primary auxiliaries. So we'll prepare it and we'll learn it in next video. But here there is an introduction of the topic, exactly what are the things and how many things are there that you have to prepare. Next one is main verb. Main verb. So you also call it as modals. So there are some people, they pronunciate it as modals, but modals is not a pronunciation for it. So there are only 2 pronunciation of it. One is Many of you, I think that you must be knowing it. So that is transcription. One is modals, or next one is modules. So this one is US and this one is UK. But modals is not a pronunciation. By the way, now the 4 branches are there. One is transitive, other is intransitive, then auxiliaries, then main verb. Main verb means modals. Modals has will, shall, then can, may, would, should, could, might, must, then ought to. These are the parts of modals. So we'll learn it. Next part is tense. So now let's see that how you must be knowing it. Tense has 3 parts, that is present, past, and future. Continuous has 4 parts, that is indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. I must remove it. Now the next, here you can see that when you talk about form and tense. So form and tense, here tense I taught you that was present, past, and next one is future. And when we talk about the 4 forms, so there are only 4 forms, and that is indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Voice has again 2 parts, that is active voice and passive voice. So what's the difference? The difference is there is no difference of meaning in active and passive voice, but the difference of emphasis. When you talk anything in active, it means your whole focus is on the subject. A Ram killed a Ravana. But if you want to change your focus and you want to focus on Ravana, then you speak the same thing, but you need to speak in passive form, like Ravan was killed by Ram. So here, that is the matter of focus, emphasis, and attention. But the meaning is same. Next one is narration. So that is direct and indirect narration. So there are several exams, direct and indirect narration. Here you learn that how to convert a dialogue. Next one is number. Number has 2 parts, singular number and plural number. Singular and plural. Person has 3 parts, that is first person, second person, and third person. But when you join this number and person, then there is one more chapter, and that is called subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement. Then you have mood chapter. Mood has 3 parts, and it seems unimportant, but it's very important. Mood is a very important chapter, and 3 parts are indicative, and then imperative, and the next one is subjunctive. So what is subjunctive? Many of you must have seen this word first time. This is not subjective, this is subjunctive. Spelling is S-U-B-J-U-N-C-T-I-V-E. Subjunctive means that covers conditional sentences. Conditional sentences that focuses on condition. If you come to my place, I'll help you. I wish I were a king. I gave you something special. I wish I were a bird. Were I a bird, I flew in the sky. So that is all covered in subjunctive. Once you prepare the chapter, all doubts will be cleared, and you gain the complete mark. Now the next thing is non-finite. Non-finite has 3 parts. You can say that this branch has again 3 branches, and first one is infinitive, then gerund, and that is participle. Participle has again 3 parts. First one is present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. So infinitive means to and first form of the verb. Gerund means ing. Present participle has some special meaning. For example, if I add 2 small clauses, he saw me, he ran away. So both actions can be performed together, like seeing and running. So these 2 actions can be performed together. So this is only the reason that can be connected in this way. Seeing me, he ran away. So that is called present participle. Past participle means, for example, broken heart. So here, heart is a noun, and broken word, third form of the verb, has been used as an adjective to heart. So broken heart, broken chair, stolen goods. So that is all past participle. And the last one is perfect participle. When you feel that one action has been completed. For example, I complete my homework, I go to my home. So here I'll have to use having completed my homework. So, but one thing is very important. For example, as soon as I'm using present participle or perfect participle, so you'll have to be very careful for the subject. Like having completed the work, I go to my home, means I have completed the work and I go to home. So that is all a small introduction. So you can see several branches. Now I just please cast a glance over it. So first one is verb. Verb has finite, then non-finite, and finite has again several branches. First one is helping verb, tense, form, voice, narration, then number, person, mood. And these branches has several things. For example, transitive, intransitive, auxiliary, main verb. Then tense has present, past, future. Form has indefinite, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. Voice has active and passive. Narration has direct and indirect. And number, singular number, plural number, and person, first person, second person, and third person. Mood has indicative, imperative, subjunctive. Subjunctive means conditional sentences. That conditional sentences would be covered. So when you talk about your competition and when you talk about number of questions, now let me tell you that how much this is important. Once you complete it, so all kind of problems will be solved automatically, because you have problem, because as soon as you see anything, you read anything, sometimes some of you don't understand the meaning of that particular passage. That is also a problem. When there's a sentence and there's a question, you don't understand the meaning of it, that's a problem. That is the problem of comprehension. That is removed through this chapter only. Second thing, that you have framing problem. For example, you have something in your heart and you don't know how to deliver it, how to cater in the best grammar so that everybody must understand. So that is the problem. So that deliverance, that can be the form of speaking, or that can be in the form of writing. Second thing. Third thing, that in your competition there are several questions, errors and improvements, and that is framed from somewhere in the grammar. You don't know, you have no guess exactly where from they got it. So these are the chapters that the best examiners frame their questions from this chapter. And so in next video I would take point to point, and so that you would understand it and you would learn it completely, and you will get the questions related to this chapter. So thank you.